Good morning, folks. This is Doug McKenna, and speaking to you from this lovely Belleville Riverwalk Park in North Carolina. It's a marvelous spot. And I'm here to talk about my friend Dave Wallace, and this video is going out to the folks at Cape Rep and Cape Theater folk in particular. I just found out yesterday that Dave had passed away pretty close to a few years ago, and I just didn't know. We were very close for quite a while, and he gave me my break, as it were, in theater early on. I'd been very, very shy. I thought about doing theater for a long time. I met Dave. He was one of the people who kind of prompted me. And then he was directing Arsenic and Old Lace at the Orleans Academy. And we were hanging out with his brother, great guy, Derby. And it just came up that I should audition for Teddy. And I wound up doing the role. And it remains the most fun that I ever had on stage, ever. And yeah, it's just been like the ideal in theater pursuits ever since. And Dave was the director, and oh man, he just naturally taught me so much, and I'm sure other people as well. But really, everybody else in the cast had far more experience than I had at that point. So for me, it was very, very much a learning experience. And you know, with all my thick-headed issues at times, I was aware enough to listen to my friend, a man who was becoming my brother, really. And I learned so much from him, not the least of which is that we were rehearsing at a school. I can't remember where, but we used the gym as a rehearsal space, and Dave set up cones, you know, like cones are up on the road, road work, stuff like that, for us to navigate, you know, to set up what it would look like when we got to the academy. And I didn't really follow it, you know, trust Dave, just do what he says, which I did. And it was brilliant, though, because when we got to the academy, he's like, oh man, look at that, Dave was on it, he's right on it, look at this. And it worked out great. And it was one of really one of the great joys of my life. I'm 61 years old now. And I look like this, by the way, because I'm getting ready to do the same role again here in North Carolina with a small fun group that I've helped put together. So that'll be, you know, I first did the show half my life ago. Normally wear a beard and all that, a little bit on the gray side. Now, you know, kind of looking pretty much like I looked back in those days. I admired Dave and hung out a lot. We grew progressively very, very close. Different styles, different people. He was something of my mentor. We both struggled with the same things, but we both enjoyed them too. And the drinking and all that stuff, we spent many hours doing that. And it was kind of funny because we never did a show together, a full show where we were both actors in. We did a reading or some readings. But it worked out that we would be in shows at the same time, and that the closing weekends would be at the same time. You know, that happened, worked that way. Probably still does. It'd be like, okay, what time can you be over at my pad? Because we needed Dave's pad. Late night gathering. You know, other people would be there at times, but you know, it would eventually just be us, and you know, gaming and talking, and you know, and drinking, and till the next day, oftentimes. So we indulged in that, and it's also accurate to say that we struggled with it at the same time. And I'm aware that that contributed to Dave's end, and it pretty much, it was on its way to doing the same with me. I'm lucky enough to be very happily sober for about 6 years. But I've lost just about everybody I ever really partied with to that. And it pains me that Dave and I didn't get to take this part of the journey together, sobriety and its wonderfulness. And it pains me that I wasn't there for him. I'm not going to hold it to my heart as a deep regret. I mean, life goes on and we were living our lives. But, yeah, I would have liked to, if I could have been any sort of help and to reflect the help that he so often gave me, I would have been thankful for it. As it is, I'm very thankful that I knew Dave. I'll carry Dave in my heart always. I'll have wonderful memories of him, and when I'm doing the show, Arsenic and Old Lace, I will think of him often. He will be with me when I'm on stage. So thank you for listening. Cape Rep and all the other places, Catuit Center, I think of there often. I mean, when I was there, it was a garage. We did Hamlet there, Fool for Love, and now it's this big place. Remember the old guard. Part of that myself. And remember Dave Wallace. One last thing about Dave, because I didn't really touch on this. Didn't get to see him often on stage, but when I did, I thought he was wonderful. I thought he was a magnetic performer, very, very skillful, saw the craft, but what I particularly loved is when he would bring himself out, bring the earnestness out, not just the wonderful craft, which he had, but to really put himself out there. And it was a joy to watch him, and it was always something of a learning experience as well. Okay, folks, thank you again, and hope you're having a wonderful